Story number 10. Arrows of Deliverance. Gradually the years slipped by. Elisha moved from palaces to hovels, talking freely with kings and common people. Some loved him, others hated him. In a time of war, famine, and much suffering, he was like a tower of strength to all who remained loyal to the God of heaven. Then he fell sick with the sickness whereof he died. While he was on his deathbed, Joash, king of Israel, came to visit him. With tears the king cried, "Oh, my father, the chariot of Israel, and the horsemen thereof." It was his way of saying how much the old prophet meant to him and his kingdom. And his words meant still more in the view of the fact that he had just lost all but 10 of his chariots to the king of Syria. Elisha knew how discouraged the king was, so he said, "Take bow and arrows." The king did so. "Put your hand upon the bow," said the old man. The king obeyed, and Elijah put his hands upon the king's hands to let him know that God would be with him. "Open the window eastward," said Elijah. Again, the king did as he asked. "Shoot," said Elijah, and he shot. "The arrow of the Lord's deliverance," cried the prophet, as the feathered shaft sped toward the rising sun. "And the arrow of deliverance from Syria, for you shall smite the Syrians in Aphek, till you have consumed them." Then he said to the king, "Take the arrows." The king took them. "Smite upon the ground," said Elijah. The king banged the arrows on the ground 3 times. "No," cried the prophet heatedly. "You should have hit them 5 or 6 times. Then you would have smitten the Syria till you had consumed it." Even the striking of the arrows on the ground meant more than the king understood. He should have banged those arrows down 5, 6, 7, 10 times to show his eagerness to do the work God wanted him to do. After this, Elijah became weaker and weaker, and he knew his end was near. Perhaps he wondered sometimes whether the fiery chariot that had taken Elijah to heaven would come for him, but no chariot came. So he died as others died, and they buried him. Someday, however, in the glorious morning of the resurrection, he will awake to see that chariot after all, coming straight toward him with the shining horsemen of heaven, eager to carry him home. Praise God Almighty.